Hello, lovely viewers.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Not Just Tentacles, where I, Rachel, attempt to demystify anime and animation.
And I, Ruth, stay mystified about the anime, but I love some animation.
And I just keep catching sight of my George Michael wig on top of the wardrobe there.
Yeah, but you also look like you're coming out of a hole.
Okay.
That's better.
And here's proof I do not live in my cardigan. So today I thought we'll do a relatively quick one because we've started summer 2025 of anime. So these are the shows that I'm going to be watching for the next couple of months. But in this particular couple of instances, these were two that I thought, you know what, I'm not going to pursue that. I thought I would just leave them after one episode.
So what are they called?
I'm going to do them in this order. So the summer Hikaru died, and there's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless, or I don't know.
I think it'd be, there's no freaking way I'd be your lover. Unless...
Okay.
Because there's 3 dots in the
I
title.
know. So ellipses ahoy.
Ahoy.
Right. So we'll start with Hikaru. So there was an awful lot of noise about this one because it's
What kind of noise? Or...
I don't
Oh,
know. But they were all like, this is a queer coming of age story with horror elements. And I thought, ooh, this sounds right up my alley.
Rachel Jam.
But sadly, it was more like Rachel Marmalade or Rachel
Marmite?
anything with apricots because I fucking hate the stuff. Actually, no, that's really mean because it's not an objectively bad show. It just wasn't for me at all. Right. So the story is, there were 2 boys. They're about 15, I think. So they're Yoshiki and Hikaru. They have been friends all of their lives, and they live in this like little rural area. So there's not much going on. I think Yoshiki's parents are on the verge of splitting up because certainly they were arguing quite a lot in the episode that I saw. And one day Hikaru goes up to the mountains and he's missing. And then when he comes back, he's different.
Different as in... new hairdo?
Well, funnily enough, he's got the whole kind of strange anime hair to let you know that this person is either a main character or some kind of ghoul. And in this instance, he's basically been replaced by something else.
Wind back.
Yeah.
So, anime hair. This intrigues me. What do you mean? Like different color?
Yeah. If you want to make sure that somebody is a main character, then they've got to have any hair color other than what you would ordinarily encounter. So just the whole spectrum of hair colors. So pink, blue, green, pretty much anything.
So, our town has a lot of main characters in it.
I'd say so, yeah. Anyway, so, and this is the thing that bothers me because I am somebody that generally really loves my horror or my sci-fi. If there's anything that's about a small area being beset by aliens, vampires, anything like that, and normally I'm all over it. But they've just found something really off about the pacing and the way that things were revealed. So the beginning is great because we see him being taken over by the thing.
The thing.
I think it's known as the something. There is an old lady.
Something.
There is an old lady who does call it by a name. I think it's no Nuki or something like that. So she actually names it. But either way, rather than looking like you kind of archetypal demonic type thing, it's actually really beautiful. It looks like some kind of floating octopus spirit. So we see that kind of take over him. And then when Yosuke actually asks him outright, "You're not Hikaru, are you?" Then he's like, "How did you know?" And then the thing kind of blooms out of his face. So the design of the creature and how it works, I actually found quite interesting, but it was all the rest of it because I don't know about you. I mean, you like your aliens and your horror as well, but possibly.
Well, I'm not so keen on the horror because I am squeamish. I like that. I like terror rather
Yeah.
than horror.
But you know what I mean? If you have a good old, my husband's girlfriend, best friend has been possessed by something, you like the kind of gradual build-up of realizing that something's wrong. Just all
But
the
don't you normally get that? Like, as a viewer, you're busy going, why are they so stupid? Why can't they just see that she's got horns?
And this is what bothered me because it did it pretty much straight away. You didn't even see them interact pretty much before he was like, "You're not Hikaru, are you?" And that just, to me, that's rubbish. You've got to have.
That's coming too soon.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have at least maybe one episode of them behaving strangely. The only time I feel that worked was in the Santa Clarita Diet because she clearly was behaving really bizarrely and they all
To be
saw
fair,
it.
that's in the trailer.
I know. So yeah, her becoming a zombie is a bit of a spoiler. But you do, whatever the format is, whether it's a book, a show, a film, you do have to have at least half an hour or so of them being increasingly off.
Well, I don't know, half an hour for a 25-minute episode.
Well, you know what I mean. I think they should have had one episode of him behaving oddly before
no.
he challenged him and said, "You're not." And the thing is, the stuff that he did wasn't really that weird. And again, that's what bothered me. So he behaved in ways that were slightly out of character.
Like what?
Like him crying over a movie that they'd both seen dozens of times.
Has he cried over it before?
No. And
how is this established? I mean, if you were doing this, I mean, is it a culture clash? Like, because I can imagine if it was done Western style, you'd have an establishing scene where they'd be watching it together and they're like, you complete me. You know, that part.
Yes, I love Lego Batman.
Extra points for the reference. But then you would have most of that establishing that establishing episode, the pilot. You would it would be setting up the relationship, and then about 5 minutes from the end, that's when you have the Hikaru starting to look and act a little bit differently, or he looks normal, but there's menacing music or a different camera angle.
And this is what really got on my nerves because we never saw what their relationship was like when he was still alive. So we had nothing to compare it with.
Will this be done in flashbacks, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do it in flashbacks. Like he either remembers or he dreams an impression that he did of their teacher and he thinks, oh, that's the last thing I can remember him doing when he was still alive. But it's still not that great a moment. It should have been something that was more friendship building.
Hang on, how old are these kids supposed to be?
So like I said, they're about 15.
Okay.
So because I get that in horror, a lot of the time it is about physical and emotional things that everybody goes through. So
wait.
What? So these guys are getting ready to kind of leave school, move away, maybe not see each other anymore. So you do have that whole, am I growing apart from my friend? Is he different? And yeah, this could manifest itself as him being possessed by something scary, but we had nothing, we knew nothing about these characters. So it just felt very forced.
What is new Hikaru like though? What else is suspicious?
Well, so yeah, there was nothing to really that he perhaps overreacted slightly to things, but not in sort of like a violent way or a weird way.
Like how then?
It was just like maybe a bit more emotional and slightly more childish than the original had been. And at one point he says,
"What do you mean he is like a normal person?"
Yeah, like at one point he says to Yoshiki, "I like you," which he never said. And by the way, this comes back to the whole kind of queer coming of age thing. And I really do think that unless this comes into play later on in the series, there is seriously nothing that makes these two look any different from any pair of ordinary friends. We don't see Yoshiki acting like he's in love with him. And I just think that what if this is the important factor for why he's letting this thing stay around in the guise of his friend because he loves him and doesn't want him to go and will have him by any other way. They should have just made more of that. I just felt like it was trying to have its cake and eat it. Like they were trying to say, we want this to appeal to as many different people as possible. So you could see it as just a friendship, but you could also think that they're in love and write some fanfic if you like. The whole thing just felt very flat to me and also very by numbers. So you had like all the predictable jump scares. So like a cat sees him and knows he's wrong, goes after they took a very long time to show the cat licking its balls for some reason. I don't know what that was about, but either way, the whole kind
Does
of
the cat become horny afterwards, or is this before?
this was before, yeah. It's casually licking its balls and then looks up and sees him. And then later you get like the local.
I just want to get a still of that.
You get the local senile old lady seeing him and recognizing him and naming the creature, saying it's come down from the mountain.
You do realise that pose is going to be the thumbnail.
And that's another thing that bothers me. This is something that I've noticed a lot in anime. Anybody, any woman who is over a certain age where she's no longer considered attractive is made to look like the most hideous hag they can possibly draw. And because
I feel seen.
And because this poor old lady is extremely old and just not very mentally stable, it just makes her look far more monstrous than Hikaru does at any point. And I just found that really insulting. It's like, bad enough. They're already kind of going, ooh, when they're going past her. But then she quite naturally freaks out because there's some blooming monster standing right in front of her and she can see him. And that's another thing, because they try to, I gather from what people have said in reviews, that this is something that's from later on in the storyline to try and kind of pep it up a bit. There's an investigator going around trying to find out where it's been and trashing people's houses and things. But again, we know nothing about this guy. We don't know why he's looking for it. We don't know who these people whose lives he's turning up down are. So the whole thing just felt like somebody had just come up with a plot and then just stuck a few stick figures in, because I just didn't feel anything to make me feel for these characters at all.
You don't want a placeholder anime. Did it just feel like it was written by ChatGPT?
I'm not even going to say that, because I've read that this is the creator's passion project that they first came up with at school. And
well,
maybe
that
that's
explains
why.
it.
Yeah, something that, because haven't you noticed that when people are at school and they come up with something, it's set school. Or when you get these people that are in a creative writing class at uni and they all write a uni novel. It's just...
You're falling through the hole again.
It is just tedious. So it looked absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's like Studio Ghibli standard of animation. And
maybe they're an artist, not a writer.
Yeah, the music was decent. The voice acting was competent. I just found it dull. I just thought, I have seen this story done so many times and better, and certainly gayer if that's what you're into.
Bigger, better.
I would give it, for the animation, I would give it about a 3, but for everything else, I would give it a 2.5.
Ooh, that's low.
It's just everybody else has been raving about it, and it just left me cold.
Maybe it's just not for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even saying it's bad, because I'm sure it's somebody out there is going to like it.
Somebody loves it, but then, people love those crappy adverts on the TV about getting yourself cremated without a funeral.
I don't think anybody loves those. And I just also
Funeral
find it
directors do.
really, really strange how apparently when the creator first came up with it, it was like a one-shot BL, but that just seems to have been pared right back. That if I hadn't been told this is a queer coming-of-age story, I wouldn't have seen that at all. And the whole "he likes me" wouldn't even necessarily be like, he likes me. It'd be more like, oh yeah, my friend told me he liked me, because boys don't normally tell other boys they like each other. They're just like, bruh. Or what?
Bruh. Bruh. Is it bruh?
Bruh. I have no idea what it is. So yeah, that is the summer Hikaru died.
Okay.
And now we are on to...
There's no freaking way I'll be your lover. Unless...
Now, this is a story that had absolutely no qualms about advertising the fact it was gay straight off the bat.
Well, hey!
And this is something else I've noticed, that there seems to be like a division between kind of like tasteful, beautifully animated BL, and then kind of like maybe...
Hey, lesbians, it's a Yuri!
Yeah, exactly. Everybody with their boobs out, bouncing around. funny theme tunes, etc.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
sound effects. Are there sound effects like at the sight of boobs?
oh God, actually, well, one good thing about the Hikaru thing is the theme tune, so check that out. I liked that. But anyway,
Oh,
back
that'll
to
be on next
this.
season.
That's true. So back to this. So it basically goes, this is a harem anime. She is probably going to end up with all of these women.
Wow. Good on her.
I know, right? I mean, it's obvious which one is the main love interest. It's May, and they're always called May, aren't they? Who's kind of like the
Why May?
tall, blonde, gorgeous supermodel. But you've also got
You may.
you also got a variety of other kind of pretty stock anime types. So, okay, to give you the storyline, so there's Reniko, who is by nature really introverted, but she decided when she started the new school, I'm going to be a completely different person because I feel like life is slipping me by and I want to just grab life and live life to the full. So she's now, with the help of her sister, she's become really outgoing and she's ended up in a clique of the most popular girls in school. So imagine the Heathers.
Mean Girls.
Imagine the Heathers if they were all humongous lezers. So,
What you mean if they were all? I mean, at least one of them.
so you've got the aforementioned May. I actually can't remember all of their names.
Sit up, Rachel. You're coming out the hole.
Yeah, so I'll come out your hole. So they are all very much kind of like what you would normally expect in an anime of this kind, only instead of being the token, I don't know, girl surrounded by loads of guys, it's a girl surrounded by loads of other girls. So
I am not complaining at this prospect.
So there is the kind of tall, sulky childhood friend of May. There's the kind of sweet, beautiful beige one who everybody likes. There's the blue-haired kind of little sister one who's all kind of cute and zany and so on. But anyway, Reniko is suffering from the whole, I don't know, she's gone from being a zero to a hero and she's finding it difficult. So she goes up onto the roof to get a breather and she's leaning over and May is absolutely convinced because she goes up to look after her and she's convinced she's about to top herself. So they end up kind of falling off the roof. And but May's all like, I saved you. But just before that,
They fell off the roof. Are they okay?
yeah, for some reason, May's, I don't know whether it's her boobs or what, or her powers of gorgeousness stop people from dying from falling off a roof. Look,
What? Just like, do they bounce back?
look, this is a Yuri anime. Logic goes out of the window. Think of it as being kind of like a dating sim, if anything.
A dating sim.
Yeah.
What, like when you make him go woohoo? Oh no, that's The Sims.
But either way, imagine, yeah, it's a dating game and you've got various people to pick from. That's how this makes the most sense.
Okay.
So just before, before they kind of fell off the roof or whatever, they had a conversation, which was just basically
Just thinking of Blind Date now.
her talking about her social anxiety, but also May kind of opening up and going, oh, it's so hard to be me. Everybody thinks I'm perfect and I'm not. And she just said a kind of like some incredibly bland, supportive things. But as a result, May, the following day, is now completely head over heels in love with her. She feels like they've really connected after this moment.
Bing.
And yeah, and Reniko's all like,
Well, she does an impression of an octopus.
but she's like, I just wanted to be friends. I want a friend, etc. Because, of course, having friends is really unusual to her as well.
I'm
And
just thinking of that line from Doctor Who. I just want a mate. You just wanted to mate. Not going to mate with me, sunshine.
I loved that. And so they come up with this idea that, because you know how you get these really kind of out there premises that only work in rom-coms. If anybody did this in real life, you would just think, what a wanker. So she's sort of like, some days we can be friends and other days we can be lovers. We can,
What's he doing next Tuesday?
yeah, it'd be like, on the days where we're lovers, I shall wear my hair down. And guess what she does for the rest of the anime?
Hair up.
So hair down all the way.
Okay.
And it's like, and okay, on one hand, it's good that she says when Reniko's kind of like less than thrilled by this idea, she's like, is it because I'm a girl? But, you know, it's like, she could be straight because no matter what people think in like the L word and lip service, there is no woman on earth that is so gorgeous and so amazing that she will turn somebody straight just by going, oh, I'm in love with you, you know.
I don't know.
Because I know they seem to think that guys can do that to every lesbian ever, but it's not a thing.
Really is not.
Yeah.
Unless you're JoJo Siwa.
I know, topical reference, and we shouldn't really be casting aspersions on people like that. And so it was kind of like silly, undemanding fun. I mean, okay, maybe she was a bit inappropriately pushy and so on, but I thought, okay. And I also thought it was interesting because it had been hinted at in the theme tune, but also just generally in the way that the girls interacted with one another, that they'll have other people falling in love with Reniko or falling in love with May, or just all the usual kind of actually remember anybody else in this anime other than her sister, who just basically looks like her. So they've both got the kind of presumably family resemblance of pink hair because they're main characters. But so I liked it, and then I made the mistake of going onto Twitter just to see what everybody else was saying about it, because you're hidden away on YouTube, so it's not on a streaming service.
It's free to watch, folks.
So it's on Your Anime, which has this setup in which you have to watch it in a week, and then it goes behind a paywall, because like they did with Your Former last season.
That's crap,
which is as annoying as hell. But on the other hand, being on YouTube means you can take loads of screenshots, because you can't do that with the other streaming services.
No screenshots here. You like copyright. We respect copyright.
Yes, I know. But then I saw somebody was like, this gets problematic fast. And they included pictures from a scene, which is going to be in the anime because somebody revealed it previously, about how May apparently sexually assaults Reniko. And this is something that happens a lot in Yuri anime, and I wish they would stop it. Like, it happens all the time in Citrus. It's just like, it's just like one of the oldest and worst queer stereotypes. And they seem to think that
ladies, keep your hands to yourself.
Or men as well, because it happens in Gravitation all the time too. It's just like, it doesn't matter how gorgeous and charismatic somebody is, or how much the main character might fancy them.
Keep your hands off their special area.
Exactly. If somebody says no, it means no. And it really bothered me, because until then, okay, the premise was a bit hokey and Shakespearean, but until then, I'd really been enjoying it and thought, oh, this is going to be a nice, fun, turn your brain off at the door type Yuri. But I really don't like the whole somebody getting with their abuser trope. It just really sits wrong with me. I mean, I don't mean to yuck.
It's just a cultural thing.
I don't mean to yuck anybody's yum. I mean, what? But
what a horrible phrase.
I don't want to see it. And it's a really
I don't want to hear that phrase.
Like, back in the day when my mum used to have those books that were absolutely full of sex pirates and things, you always used to...
Is it true you're named after a sex pirate?
I was named after the heroine's mother.
Oh, so you're named after a sex pirate's mother.
Well, the wife of a sex pirate's
mother. And the robot
And Rachael and Blade Runner. But anyhow...
And your middle name is after Doctor Who's granddaughter.
Shut up. No, anyway, back to what I was talking about. So in the books that Mum used to leave all over the place at home, there was nearly always a scene in where you had the main character being ravished by some brute of a man, and then her suddenly deciding, ooh, actually, I like this.
Oh, Captain Saber.
God, are we going to get sued because one of them was actually called that?
Shit, were they?
Yes. Yeah, Captain Saber with his buckskin breeches. I know this was a way that they wanted the heroines to lose their virginity in a way where they wouldn't be ashamed and stuff, but we are now in the noughties. That trope is...
No, we're in the 2020s.
In the 2020s.
The noughties were 20 years ago.
Okay, right. Okay, sorry. Rachel can't do maths or chronological time.
Rachel doesn't know what year it is.
Well, I do have a George Michael wig on the wardrobe.
You made a very good George Michael. Sadly, I made a very good Elton John.
Oh, I thought.
Without a wig. Carry on.
Well, I've already shared the photo of me kind of posing as George. I mean, I feel bad about it, but I don't feel like I am comfortable in promoting a show that has such tropes in it. So I am going to give it, in terms of animation and acting and so
What's all
forth,
this? Just give it one bloody score around the door.
I am going to give it 3 for that episode, but obviously I can't condone anything that happens going forward. Is that fair to say? So if I'm just
Your
based
show.
entirely on that episode, I would have given it a 3, a 3.5, but now I'm just like, yeah, exactly.
It's the ick klaxon.
I know. Yeah, it just put me right off. And it made me relieved that at least there's one other Yuri anime this season, which hopefully won't have things like that happening
What's
with
that then?
people that actually fancy each other from the very beginning.
Are they assassins at a school?
Well, sadly, it is still school-based. This is called Bad Girl. And we're going to be reviewing it on another occasion. That's going to be part of the summer 2025 episode of things we do actually want to watch. And that can be found on Amazon Prime. So yeah,
not our podcast.
No, I'm saying Bad Girl.
Bad Girls.
Not to be confused with the prison drama.
Bad Girls.
Yeah.
Do watch Bad Girls though.
Oh, it is brilliant. There would not
Nikki.
There would not be a Wentworth or a Orange is the New Black or any of those prison shows without Bad Girls, I expect. Well, actually, no. Wentworth is a reboot of
Prisoner.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. All of these things kind of influence one another, I'm fairly sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But otherwise, so that's both of those shows done and dusted. Next, so this is going to be like, I don't know, maybe towards the end of the month, we are going to be doing the summer 2025 show. And as well as covering Bad Girl, we're also going to be doing Sakamoto Days and Night of the Living Cat. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
It's pronounced cat.
No, Night.
Oh.
So that's like Japanese for meow. So it's kind of like a bit of a sort of pun name. So it's basically a pandemic in which everybody turns into a cat if they get touched by one.
Oh God, I would be gone in a moment. I'd be like that best friend. I'd be like that cop that's just 3 days from retirement.
Oh, cute kitty. Yeah. So it would be like that. Or as one of my friends calls it, 28 meows later.
I prefer that.
Or apocalypse meow. I don't know.
Right, if you've got any cat-related puns,
please make them.
Put them in the comments section. We do read all the comments.
And otherwise, I'm coming near the end of my Death Note rewatch. So I don't know if I'm going to do...
She's in the bit with near and far.
I know, right? So I'm trying to decide, should I watch Monster or Assassination Classroom next? What would you most like to watch?
Ask class.
Yeah, because you can't seem to get a dub of Monster on Netflix, but there is one on YouTube if you're sneaky, apparently. And that is a bit of a throwback because when I first watched it during like the...
No, we don't approve of unauthorized versions. If it's an authorized version where the creators get paid... Good. If it's pirates, shove it up your ass.
Okay. Well, yeah, you get rid of that bit then.
Yeah. No, I just get rid of the bit that says get rid of that bit.
Anyway.
I just realised how long my tongue is.
I was about to say.
You're grateful.
Are you sure that you haven't been on a mountain recently? Anyway, until then, love you guys. Have a good one and see ya. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you like this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And there's also the first few 100 episodes of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, and all other good places that they stick podcasts and the audio variety. Bye.